covering the entire Piedmont Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 6.
We are following several top stories tonight at 6 o'clock in High Point, where a sleep driver crashed his car into a lake.
In Kernersville, where police are saying an early morning accident is fatal.
And in Greensboro, where mayoral hopefuls are meeting ahead of upcoming elections, and 2 teens are wounded in a shooting at a hotel.
But we start in Randolph County, where less than a month into the school year, school officials have banned an award-winning novel.
Our Margaret Johnson tells us that action comes after a parent called the book way too offensive for children.
It's not unusual for communities to ban controversial books, and according to the National Library Association, Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn is the most banned book in America, followed by The Catcher in the Rye and To Kill a Mockingbird. And this time here in our community, it's The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. The mother of a 16-year-old student at Randleman High School got the ball rolling after teachers put the book on the summer reading list. But Kenyatta Parson read it first. Afterwards, she fired off this lengthy complaint to the Randolph County School Board. She told them there's nothing innocent about The Invisible Man. Instead, she calls it filthy and inappropriate for teenagers. She cites examples of offensive language, explicit sexual themes, rape, and incest. After reading the book themselves, the school board voted to ban it and pull it out of school libraries. Disappointing for 16-year-old Bianca Avila. She read The Invisible Man over the summer, and despite what some parents may believe, she thinks many teenagers are mature enough to handle this kind of material. Sometimes, she says, life isn't pretty.
Most of the stuff that happened to him weren't so pretty, but it happened. It was life for him, and he's just explaining it in his story.
And it shouldn't be banned.
No, it shouldn't.
There's no word yet on when this book will be pulled from school library shelves. In Randolph County, Margaret Johnson, WXII 12 News.
Lawyers for the Charlotte police officer who was accused of shooting and killing an unarmed man made their first court appearance today. Defense attorneys say that their client, Officer Randall Carrick, was justified in shooting 24-year-old Jonathan Farrell early Saturday. Carrick did not attend the hearing, where he was charged with voluntary manslaughter. Lawyers representing Farrell's family said yesterday that he'd been in an accident and was approaching Officer Carrick to ask for help.
This is not someone who posed a threat to the officers or anyone else. This is an everyday American, and that should be just as appalling and scary, intimidating, frightening for the public as it is for us.
Farrell is a former Florida A&M football player. Another hearing is scheduled for October 7th.
2 teens are in the hospital after being shot at a Greensboro motel. Just after midnight, police were called to the Red Roof Inn on Meadowview Road with reports of gunshots. When they got there, they found 19-year-old Ketkow Maveri and 17-year-old Luciano Young. Both were suffering from gunshot wounds and taken to the hospital. No word on their conditions, and no arrests have been made.
Sleepwalking is one thing, but High Point police are saying that somebody drove their SUV into a lake while sleep driving. Police say that after he managed to walk to his car, he drove 3 miles. This is a 21-year-old High Point University student who ended up driving straight into Hollow Lake while sleeping the whole time. He finally woke up from his sleep driving after he was splashed by the cold water from the lake. High Point police say this accident is one of a kind.
Well, we see accidents of all kinds every day. This is unusual in the sense of we don't tend to have a lot of cars driving into the lake.
That student was treated for hypothermia and released from the hospital. Police have not said if they're going to file any charges.
Police in Kernersville now say an accident this morning near Highway 66 and Union Cross Road was fatal. That crash happened near mile marker 202 around 5:30. 66-year-old Barbara Mock was driving a white Ford Ranger when she lost control. The passenger, 58-year-old Barbara Worthington, was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. The right westbound lane of Interstate 40 was closed after the accident, but has since reopened. The investigation is ongoing, and alcohol does not appear to be a factor.
Well, not many people would say they didn't enjoy today's weather. Temperatures in the 70s. We were 75 in Greensboro, 73 in Winston-Salem. Most folks just want to know how long it's going to last. Danbury's at 67. We've got Mount Airy at 68, and we're close to 70 degrees across the Triad. Now, this morning we were off to a cool start with temperatures in the high 50s. It's going to be cooler than that tomorrow morning, as we'll look for temperatures to be below our normal of 61. The forecast low is for 50 degrees tomorrow across the Triad. We will likely have even some upper 40s. This would make it the coldest night so far this season. I'll be back to tell you just how cool it's going to be tomorrow afternoon coming up.
New at 6 o'clock tonight, the three candidates running for Greensboro mayor squared off this afternoon in a debate sponsored by the League of Women Voters.
They include the incumbent mayor, Robbie Perkins, city council member Nancy Vaughn, and community activist George Hartzman. Bill O'Neill joins us now from Greensboro with the story.
The mayor told his crowd of more than 100 voters that the city is better off under his leadership. Nancy Vaughn somewhat agreed, but said she'd like to supercharge the city. And George Hartzman says the city of Greensboro is broken. When asked why voters should choose them, George Hartzman, seldom a man of few words, gave this 4-word answer.
I'll tell the truth. Thank you.
When asked about regrets over the past 10 years, incumbent Mayor Robbie Perkins says no doubt it was the debate over the White Street landfill.
That divided this city as opposed to pulling it together. That could have and should have been a very quick discussion, but it was turned into a 2-year ordeal.
When asked how to improve the city, Nancy Vaughn told the crowd Greensboro lacks an identity and needs to do a better job of branding itself.
We have to go out and do a better job of marketing ourselves in general, so people will realize this is a place where they want to live, work, and play. And until then, people don't really know where we are.
The top 2 vote getters in next month's primary move on to the November election. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill reporting. Back to you.
The search for a missing Greensboro man is over after he was found safe and sound a few hours after he was reported missing. Around 7:30 this morning, police received a report from a caregiver that 79-year-old Ralph Moore Sr. had walked away from his home on Camborne Street. He was found more than 2 hours later. Police say that he'd fallen in some thick vegetation near the far corner of his property. Police say that Mr. Moore suffers from dementia. Greensboro police have identified a body that was found around 6 o'clock last night. It's 68-year-old Thomas Edward Cole. Police found Cole's body in a wooded area off of South Elm Street after a person called 911 to report a foul odor. Police say that the body was found near Union Cemetery, which is not too far from a known homeless camp. Police were able to identify him through his fingerprints. Preliminary examination by the medical examiner indicates that Cole died of natural causes.
Students at North Surrey High School are working to build a house for someone in need. Today is day 4 of their Habitat home build. The students are building a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home for a local family. Construction is taking place on the high school campus in Mount Airy. The work is being shared with 2 other high schools in Surrey County and Surrey Community College. A Lexington woman battling cancer who appeared in a national television ad to get people to stop smoking has died. Terry Hall died yesterday. Her voice box was removed years ago, leaving her with a hole in her throat and barely able to talk. Terry Hall was only 53.
I'm Chris Lee in the traffic center. The 3rd Street Bridge over US 52 is closed until September 27th. Also tonight, expect some lane closures on I-85 in Thomasville because of some repaving work going on. This will happen between Highway 109 and the Randolph County line, starting at 8 and ending at 6 in the morning. Let's take a live look at our traffic camera. This is I-40 at 29 in Greensboro. Things look great. Stay updated on Twitter at WXI.
Still to come, some shocking video of a couple of robberies in Pitt County.
When WXII 12 News at 6 returns, see the unbelievable way the thieves made off with an ATM machine. Plus, debate heats up over how North Carolina will deal with national health care overhaul.
Here's Elon University today. A lot of folks out there loving the weather. We've got sunshine with just a few clouds. Those are not rain-making clouds, but I'll let you know when wet weather returns to the forecast coming up.